guys, I'm Carolyn and welcome to my channel. Number 1. When somebody interrupts me when I'm reading. For some unknown reason, people think if you're sitting alone and you have a book, that this is the perfect moment to come over and have a nice chat. It isn't, because it really winds us up, especially if we are on a crucial part of the book. I remember one time when I was reading Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. I was coming to the end of the book. Now, if you've read this book, you will know that the ending is just, oh my god, it's just amazing. It's heartfelt. I had tears in my eyes, I was crying, and they're like, what are you reading? I literally turned around and I went, what? Like that. I was so involved with that story, I was so in it, that somebody to yank me out at that crucial moment. Yeah, see? Don't get on my bad side. It wouldn't be good. Number 2, when my book that I love gets made into a movie and is changed beyond all recognition. What's the point? You might as well have made your own movie. One of the films that comes to mind is I Am Legend. Now, I Am Legend by Richard Matheson is probably one of my all-time favourite books. It's about a guy who's on his own, alone. He doesn't know if anybody else exists. He is just in his head, in his house, dealing day in, day out on his own with all these horrible creatures outside. He's an alcoholic, he drinks himself into stupors, he talks to himself. It is brutal, but Matheson makes it work. It is a brilliant book. And the ending, it just shocked the pants off me. I never saw it coming. I love that when that happens, because I've read so much and I've watched so many films that it's really hard to surprise me now, but this book did. I absolutely loved it. So when I saw the film and how it was and how it just completely changed the ending, the most brilliant, shocking ending, they changed it. I was furious. I came out of that cinema just disgusted. But that is just my personal view. I've heard many people say they've loved the film, but for me personally, they changed it to such a degree that it just didn't really relate to the book. Number 3, so many times when I talk to people and say, oh, I'm a reader, I love to read, I try and get to read as much as possible, and their answer is, I don't have time to read. It bothers me. I know it shouldn't, but it really bothers me. Like, what are they implying? That I just literally sit about and read all day? No, it's a passion of mine, so therefore I make time to read, whether it is at night before I go to sleep or whether it's in the bath. Most of the time it's actually in the bath, but you know, I make time to read. I'm sure that lots of people's lives are jam-packed, but you know, I bet you anything that they could find time to read if they wanted to. But obviously they don't read, they're not readers, and it's just one of those little tiny sentences that just wind my bookish self up. I don't know if you relate to that. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, on to number 4. When I love a book so much that I can't put it down, I spend the whole night reading it, knowing I've got to get up at 6 AM and go to work. Although it isn't really a pet peeve, it's not really a pet peeve, but it sort of is. So it's to you writers. It's a pet peeve of writers writing good books that keep me up all night. Number 5. This is a biggie. As you can see around me, I love books. I love them on my shelves. One of my favourite things is having books that are all the same cover. So they are on my shelf and they look awesome. And halfway through, the publishers decide, no, we're going to piss you all off and we're going to change all the covers. Well, is that just to make me go out and buy the whole series again because of my OCD to have them all the same? But I actually did that. I had up to book 10 in the Anita Blake by Laurel K. Hamilton. Then Headline brought out the whole series again in completely different covers. Damn. I had to spend all the money again, and I did, and I bought the whole series again. Number 6. When I tell people that one of my favourite pastimes is curling up with a good book, and they look at me like I've got horns coming out of my head or something. What? What, you just sit and read for hours. And I'm like, this is something I like to do. To me, it can be as good as watching a movie. You know, that feeling when you're sitting down and you're all cozy and you're all curled up with your blanket and your coffee and you've got this amazing book and the movie is going on up here. I think the writer's words and my imagination are always better than how someone is going to interpret something for me. Number 7, when you're out in public and a book you're reading either makes you laugh out loud, completely hysterically, that I literally, or you have tears running down your face and everybody's like I'm interrupting their peaceful moment. Number 8, this one's hard. It's when a series that you absolutely love ends. We all know how hard that is. Knowing that it's done, it's dusted, it's not going to come back anymore. That's hard. Number 10, when you lend books out. I've stopped doing this. The last time I did, it was I Am Legend. When I got it back, I opened it up. On the last page, they had written a telephone number, name, and then scribbled it out. As if they were on the phone and they just needed a scrap of paper, and then they scribbled it out. Like, that's gonna actually make it better. Was not happy with that. So, don't lend your books out, people. It's too dangerous. 11, when you buy an ebook and you open it up and it doesn't have a book cover, it just has this grey bit with a title on it. Like, really? I've just paid for a book. It doesn't matter whether it's an ebook or a physical book. I expect cover. Anyway, let's move on to number 12. Books in a series that aren't numbered. That really irritates me. So I go to a bookshop or I'm online. I know that I've collected some books in a series, but I haven't really kept track of which ones I've got. Not up here anyway. I have to go through every single one and look at the list on the inside cover and go, got that. But sometimes they're not always in order and it just gets really confusing. Orbit have started doing this. They write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the spines. Brilliant. Well done, Orbit. Well done. To help us out, it really would be a nice idea to follow Orbit's footsteps and just number your books. So, number 13. When I read a book, it is repetitive. With single words or phrases, it's just bad editing. I mean, all writers do it. Nobody who writes a book gets a book perfect the first time. That's the whole point of editing. So when a book comes out that is put on the shelf ready for me to buy, I expect that it's been edited, that you're going to get the best quality edition of that book. But you don't. If I can spot them, and I'm not a qualified editor, why weren't they spotted before the book was officially published? It's just annoying, and sometimes it really is jarring and just pulls me out from that scene, ruins things for me as the reader. Number 14, when publishers release books in different sizes. But you have hardbacks, trade paperbacks, and then you have paperbacks. This is really irritating. So some books come out as hardbacks,
and then they come out as paperbacks. Some books come out as trade paperbacks, which is like the same sort of size as a hardback, but in the hardback, it's a paperback. And then they'll bring out another book.
I'm just like, why? Why bother? I'm confused. So I don't understand anybody who likes a trade paperback. For me, I either want a whole row of hardbacks or a whole row of paperbacks. Lose the trade paperback. It's just annoying. So there you have it, my 14 pet peeves. If you have any pet peeves I haven't mentioned, then leave in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks a lot and see you next time. Bye.